Hello, BookTube, and welcome back. Well, folks, I'm going to be talking about another book today, another kind of book review. I am no means a book reviewer, so it's more going to be my humble opinion of a book that I've just read. And I like to keep these things under 10 minutes to a little bit of structure, otherwise, I'll just go on for ages talking about, may not even talk about the book. So I picked this next book up because last month I read a history account of Super Nintendo and the history of the characters, what drove Nintendo to what we know today. So good old Kindle gave me a suggestion with this, and again I'm going to use my Kindle. I'm not sure what it's going to look like on the sun reflecting on the screen because I'm sick of uploading this video onto my computer and trying to, because it takes ages. So hopefully that's all right, isn't it? This is plain nice. This is The Rise, Fall, and the Future of Blizzard Entertainment. This is by Jason. I said that bit like Sean Connery, didn't I? This is Jason Schreier, and that wasn't Sean Connery. So this is, if you don't know what Blizzard Entertainment is, it is the company that made games like World of Warcraft. I think that's the big one. Diablo had another big one, and Overwatch. Big games in the industry. Now, the I read one of his previous books before, Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, which is like 10 chapters on the history of how 10 different games and how their development was, and I really enjoyed it. So I was looking forward to reading this because I know the author is a good author and I'm interested in the company itself. And it's about 350 pages. It's about like it says in the subtitle, how Blizzard started from a tiny little, you know, college dorm room kind of a company to the absolute corporate conglomerate that's owned by Microsoft right now. And the author's trying to get through to you how, precarious game development is throughout the history, how things can go straight up and straight back down again. And it goes through a lot of the key influential people that worked at Blizzard for good and for bad. Now, it's I think it's a quick read, even though it's 350 pages, and it's pretty much linear. So it starts from the late 80s of when the two guys who thought would create this company got together, Adam and Morph, I've forgot his name already. Morphheim, I think. Might be wrong. Got together, created this company. Then they had to find an angel, a money angel, and they got bought out. But they were pretty much, living uh, kind of, we're corporately owned, but we've got our own personal space. You don't really, venture into us and kind of like put the corporate fingers all over us. So they had their autonomy for quite a while, but after things went by and Blizzard got bigger and bigger and bigger, the corporate influence started to really get into the inner workings of Blizzard Entertainment. Now, this is written in a very like journalistic way. Pardon me. Uh, the author interviews a lot of people throughout Blizzard, people who work there, people who are in the working industry, people who still work there, even people who were, because Activision bought them. So he interviews people from Activision too, which is like a corporate conglomerate who just swallowing and eating up all these other smaller game companies. And the writing is very, very approachable. You're not going to get blown away by, development code and speak or anything like that. It's purely a historical account of Blizzard Entertainment. What you might get might wreck your head a little bit is because it's the game industry, people get fired and hired all the time. So you'll read about one name, you'll forget it because they're going to get replaced in in the next 2 pages, and then 50 pages next to refer to somebody who worked in Blizzard 10 years ago. You're like, oh, hang on. It's like a huge web of 1,000 names, this book. But immense reading too. And it really goes to show you, even with the likes of World of Warcraft and Diablo, both of these games, and Hearthstone, like the card game version of World of Warcraft, revenue billions and billions of dollars. How the corporate greed just takes over, and they want more. They want the revenue increased every year. No, you're not going to delay titles anymore. What's going on? And then firing people who were there for a long period of time. Pressuring over people to leave, getting more corporate overlords in, and how the atmosphere changed in Blizzard from like a kind of almost like dude bro level of getting drunk and fighting in the office, and to the point where HR was involved. So the whole culture really changed. This is what the author's really trying to highlight to you. As big as Blizzard got, the kind of initiative and the innovation and their autonomy just went down and down and down when the greed got higher and higher and higher. So that's really the key takeaway of this. And the author, I think, really delivers on that point. He's an excellent writer, and he's really well. He's found the relevant people to talk about throughout this book, who would talk to him, and he delivers it in such a way where, okay, yeah, I know how it's all tied together. I know where this is going, and he brings it up and wraps it all up in 350 pages for you. So it's really, really good in that sense. Again, it's just you might get lost in the weeds with all the different names getting thrown around, or what's going on here, or I'm not too sure. And unfortunately, in my view as well, it's very little. I mean, towards the end about all the sexual misconducts as well that was going on towards the end of Blizzard. It was kind of like, there you go, straight at the end. It's time to liberty, like the second to last chapter or something like that. And because I'm sure it was going on throughout the history of Blizzard, because it really did start like a dude bro kind of atmosphere. And in the gaming industry, especially back then, it was just dominated by men. And that is mentioned, but it's not really like weaved in throughout the plot. It's more hammered towards the end of the book. So if you're interested in I'm sweating like mad here. If you're interested in like a gaming history, because Blizzard is a major company, pick this book up. You'll learn quite. If you want to get into the actual development of a game, and you want to, for your professional career, and you want to see some of the politics that may go behind, what's happening in the studio. Again, pick up this book, because if you are trying to get into the Blizzard, Blizzard, and it's delivered to you in a very, very concise, well researched, well delivered book, and that's Play Nice: The Rise, the Fall, and the Future of Blizzard Entertainment. Now I'm going to get a shower because I don't know why I'm sweating so much. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye, BookTube.